If you have been closely tracking the Iraqi dinar situation for any length of time, you need to pay very close attention because the information we are reviewing today is unquestionably one of the most critical developments we have confirmed in years. And yes, I am fully aware that this phrase is often used, but this time, the urgency is not based on mere hype. It is firmly grounded in a major, tangible development that is currently sending significant shockwaves throughout all global financial circles. We are discussing a strategic move so important, executed so precisely, and planned with such foresight that professional analysts everywhere are now labeling it a definitive major turning point for the entire financial future of Iraq. So, before we delve into the intricate details, let me offer this compelling hook. What if I revealed that Iraq has potentially just fulfilled the final, most significant requirement necessary before officially launching its most important financial reform in many decades? A systemic reform that is set to directly influence the international value of the Iraqi dinar, boost global market confidence in the nation, and secure Iraq's long-term economic independence. Well, that is precisely what the newest, verified development strongly indicates. Remain with me until the very end because the breakdown I am about to provide could completely redefine your entire outlook on where the future of Iraq is heading next. The major, crucial headline that is now capturing the attention of everyone is the following. The Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, has formally achieved a highly recognized ISO 37001-2016 certification, a globally respected approval that comprehensively confirms the bank has fully implemented strict, robust systems for transparency, anti-corruption, and anti-bribery that now meet world-class financial standards. Now, to any listener encountering this news for the very first time, this may unfortunately sound like just another routine technical achievement, but trust me completely, the significance extends far, far beyond that. This specific certification is notoriously difficult to successfully acquire. It is definitely not awarded merely on the basis of future promises or good intentions. It demands extensive restructuring, rigorous internal audits, significant system upgrades, and complete regulatory compliance that often requires months, or sometimes even several years, of sustained effort. And Iraq did not just simply attempt this rigorous process, they officially passed it successfully. This successful passage means that the Central Bank of Iraq is now operating at the exact same level of accountability and transparency that is actively expected from the world's most globally trusted financial institutions. This achievement is exactly the kind of concrete, verifiable milestone that major international banks, global regulators, and foreign investors actively seek before they grant a nation full participation in the established international financial systems. And the current timing of this announcement is of extreme, critical importance. To fully grasp why this specific achievement represents such a significant, massive event, we must momentarily step back and review Iraq's prior reputation. For many extended years, in fact, for well over a decade, Iraq continually faced severe, persistent barriers when attempting to engage in global investment and international banking activities. The nation was grappling with outdated banking processes, persistent corruption challenges, inconsistent internal systems, and a severely limited digital infrastructure. And these specific systemic issues caused many key international institutions and foreign investors to completely avoid direct engagement with the country. But now, if we fast forward to the present day, the entire situation is undergoing a dramatic, fundamental change. This ISO certification powerfully signals that Iraq has successfully strengthened its core financial integrity, meticulously rebuilt its entire financial foundation, and fully aligned itself with every single international expectation. This certification is, in essence, a direct, official message sent to the entire world, proclaiming, "Our financial systems are strong. Our doors are fully open, and we are completely ready to transition into the next, higher phase of comprehensive financial modernization." People often tend to severely underestimate the monumental impact of a specific certification like this, but the truth is that this simple certification changes everything fundamental. It alters the global perception of Iraq, raises the level of international trust, enhances the nation's investment potential, and critically improves the country's capability to stabilize and adjust its own currency. What makes this development even more powerful and strategic is the fact that this certification did not simply appear unexpectedly or out of thin air. The Central Bank of Iraq has been diligently preparing for this specific moment completely behind the scenes, systematically digitizing all records, upgrading numerous internal systems, modernizing all transaction methods, and establishing securely protected financial pathways that specifically satisfy every international banking expectation. They have been rigorously building secure digital payment networks, significantly upgrading cross-border settlement capabilities, strongly enforcing much stricter compliance rules, and greatly enhancing their internal financial monitoring methods. And now that all these vast internal upgrades have received formal global recognition, Iraq is perfectly positioned for a profound economic shift that countless people have been patiently waiting for and accurately predicting. Because let us be completely honest, a country cannot effectively move toward a major financial reform, especially one that involves strategic currency adjustments, without first definitively proving that its entire financial backbone is internationally trusted, transparent, and completely clean. And this ISO certification is the definitive proof of exactly that success. Now, here is where the overall situation becomes even more compelling and interesting. This specific, high-level certification arrives at the very same time that Iraq has been executing massive, structural steps toward its full integration into the global banking system. Very recently, the country has significantly improved its connection to critical international financial networks, successfully expanded secure digital transaction systems for local businesses and citizens, and meaningfully strengthened its partnerships with key major trading nations. And all of these sequential, coordinated moves strongly point toward one primary, overarching goal: full global financial integration. But here lies the key insight. Full financial integration is simply not possible without a credible, recognized, and stable currency structure. That is precisely why so many knowledgeable observers firmly believe this ISO certification may, in fact, be the final green light Iraq required before successfully activating deeper, more profound financial reforms. You simply cannot join the global system while still utilizing internal corruption risks, inconsistent standards, or outdated processes. But now that Iraq has a globally approved, verifiable system in place, that critical hurdle has been removed, changing everything for the better. When experienced analysts describe this moment as the green light, they are certainly not exaggerating its importance. A sovereign country can only confidently proceed with its major monetary reforms, whether those involve redenomination, revaluation, or complete restructuring, once it has fully achieved official international compliance. Financial reforms are inherently delicate and sensitive processes. They absolutely require legitimacy, stability, and broad confidence, and this specific ISO certification provides precisely that essential foundation. It clearly informs the entire world that Iraq is not only structurally stable but is also completely ready to participate effectively in global markets with secure, modern, and corruption-free systems. This is precisely why so many financial experts are now unequivocally calling this a true milestone moment, one that powerfully signals Iraq's confident entry into a definitive new era of systemic economic modernization. And judging from the numerous recent coordinated moves made by Iraq, everything now appears to be perfectly lining up for a much larger, encompassing transformation that is highly likely to rapidly unfold in the very near future. Another critical layer to this unfolding story is the concrete reaction from regional financial institutions and global investors. Since the initial news of the certification broke publicly, analysts across many different countries have begun actively discussing Iraq's rapidly and visibly improving financial infrastructure. Many of them are specifically highlighting the fact that Iraq has finally reached a major inflection point where critical international partnerships, significant foreign investments, and large-scale cross-border financial projects can now, at last, be executed with a high degree of confidence. That specific level of high trust recognition was utterly impossible just a few short years ago. But it is demonstrably possible now, and when global trust levels significantly increase, economic opportunities tend to rapidly multiply. More large businesses begin to actively explore investment in Iraq, more major banks start to establish partnership agreements, and more profitable trade agreements become genuinely achievable. All of these factors inevitably lead to stronger, more resilient stability for the national currency. This combination creates the truly ideal environment for long-term economic restructuring, which is exactly the ultimate goal Iraq has been patiently working toward. One of the most significant aspects of this ongoing conversation is the precise way this ISO certification directly affects Iraq's long-standing currency reform project. Not very long ago, high-ranking officials within Iraq publicly confirmed that the country was actively preparing for a major currency change that would involve a restructuring of the entire monetary system and the introduction of smaller denomination notes. Reforms of this specific magnitude demand the strictest levels of international compliance. They must be supported by transparent financial policies, secure, updated internal systems, and firm, modern financial controls. And that is exactly what the specific ISO certification now represents. It undeniably demonstrates that the necessary foundational elements needed for a future comprehensive currency reform are now securely in place and recognized worldwide. This does not automatically guarantee a sudden change, nor does it guarantee a revaluation will take place tomorrow morning, but it strongly confirms that Iraq has successfully cleared one of the biggest, most critical hurdles blocking its path. And now all the remaining necessary pieces are rapidly beginning to align. As Iraq continues its rapid modernization efforts, we should anticipate observing more frequent updates in the upcoming months and weeks. These future announcements may potentially include significant expansions of digital wallet systems, the introduction of new banking policies, wider integration with numerous international trade networks, and additional impactful financial reforms. The central bank may also initiate comprehensive public education campaigns specifically designed to explain upcoming changes in digital payment adoption, banking procedures, or local currency usage. These specific types of steps are exactly what experienced central banks utilize when they are strategically preparing their citizens for impending, significant shifts. And if these proactive moves begin to occur with greater frequency, they will serve as a very strong, concrete indicator that Iraq is confidently entering the final, preparatory stages of its major financial reform cycle. So, if you are closely monitoring this situation, this is the exact moment when maintaining vigilance and staying informed becomes absolutely essential. Another key and important detail to closely monitor is Iraq's financial relationship with major organizations like the BIS and the IMF. Now that the country has successfully achieved this high-level ISO certification, it possesses a much stronger, more credible chance of being formally recognized internationally for its high degree of compliance, transparency, and data accuracy. This recognition means that Iraq's financial and economic statistics could soon be much more widely accepted by global bodies, and once that occurs, the dinar instantly becomes significantly easier to utilize and work with on a much broader international scale. Global banks always prefer completely reliable data, foreign investors prefer structurally stable systems, and other countries prefer strong, trustworthy financial partners. This high-level ISO certification directly helps Iraq move firmly into that crucial category, making its national currency substantially more appealing for any future global participation. This represents one of those powerful, behind-the-scenes shifts that may initially seem less exciting but is ultimately extremely powerful in fundamentally shaping the country's long-term economic future. So, what is the ultimate, main takeaway from all of these coordinated developments? It is this: Iraq has just made a massive, structural leap forward. They have fundamentally strengthened their core financial credibility. They have successfully earned a higher level of international trust, and they have perfectly positioned themselves for the next essential phase of systemic economic reform. For anyone closely tracking the dinar story, this development represents one of the strongest, most concrete indicators of undeniable progress we have confirmed. It is a defining milestone that unambiguously tells us that Iraq is well prepared, completely serious, and actively moving forward with clear intention. The certification is not just a piece of paper. It is a signal, a strong signal that Iraq's financial future is fundamentally changing, a signal that the nation is now ready to actively participate on the global stage, and a signal that the long-anticipated major financial shift may, in fact, be rapidly approaching the execution phase. If you currently hold dinar or are simply observing these key developments, stay highly alert for any new central bank announcements. Watch closely for new banking tools, new policies, and any new reform steps. Every major, lasting economic shift begins with official confirmation, and Iraq has just received one of the biggest, most important confirmations of all. The green light has now been definitively given, the essential groundwork is complete, and now we are quickly entering the pivotal phase where everything becomes structurally possible. So, remain prepared, stay informed, and continue watching extremely closely because Iraq's next strategic move could be one of its most important ever. And as always, thank you for tuning into today's critical update. If you found this essential breakdown helpful, please make sure to like the video, share it widely with others following Iraq's financial journey, and subscribe for more reliable news as it unfolds. Big things are quickly approaching, and we are here to cover every single step of the way.